it's easier if someone just says, how about I bring a coffee around, I have a coffee with you. Yeah.
Yes, we need to get better at asking for help, and it's one opportunity that anyone who's pregnant and listening can think of this. If they're having some sort of blessing during their pregnancy for the baby, instead of gifts, people could promise to bring meals and a roster.
Totally.
Someone could volunteer to set up a roster for you.
Yeah.
That long lie-in period really helps with sleep and getting to know your baby's sleep patterns. You like to recommend a long lie-in after birth too.
Totally. Yes.
What sort of period do you like to see women do?
Well, I like a month, but that's a bit much now to expect a mother to stay home and be nurtured for a month. But if you can stay home for 2 weeks and just be in your own home and space, maybe just go for gentle walks, no big family outings, no big going to the beach and packing lunches and stuff or going here, it just takes too much out of you.
Yeah, there's a friend of ours in our community of families, and they've recently had a new baby, and we've still not seen the baby, but we've seen the older children because the dad brings them to a meeting point and we take the kids out for a play, and so they're at home and recovering as much as possible, especially keeping themselves away from any threats of diseases that are going around.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
So we've been speaking with Jayne Alder, midwife, about the postnatal period and how to recover, and we were going to talk next about breastfeeding and learning how to cope with adjusting to this. For many new parents, it's an altogether new pursuit, and it's one that I think some parents don't realise that it can be more challenging than they're expecting. Everybody, as you said, is thinking about the birth and nobody's thinking about the period afterwards.
That's right, yes.
So there's a lot of misinformation around breastfeeding and helping it on its way with positioning and so on. As you were saying during the break, Jayne, that the way you were taught was around having a particular position that the mother puts the baby into. But how do you teach mothers now?
Well, I don't do a lot of teaching. It's pretty, like before, it's pretty intuitive. And if we let the baby do the baby crawl, where that is where the baby will, even if they're not crawling from birth from the lower tummy, if they're put up by the mother's breast, they will head bob until they find the nipple.
Straight after birth?
Yeah, straight after birth. And it's quite amazing to watch if we don't seem to have to touch or the baby's not taken away.
Mm-hmm.
But as a midwife trained 22 years ago, of course, we were always told to attach the baby and help the mother latch. But if we can get our hands off and let the mother and the baby do it, they can do this perfectly. They don't need a lot of input.
It's like birth, isn't it?
Yes,
that can unfold. Yeah. That can unfold too without, if there's not too many people watching.
That's right.
The watching, I think, can be really intimidating for new mothers.
Yeah.
Being watched by people and they think, oh, I don't know, I'm not doing it the right way. And
yeah. And some mothers get sore nipples, some don't. I had them with every baby and I was told I didn't latch properly.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought I did, so... But they go away, your breasts heal, and breastfeeding is just amazing. It's one of the most natural, and for me it was easy. Some people don't have an easy time. Then you do need help. You might need to employ someone like me, a midwife or a lactation consultant. There are many ways to help. But one of the things I found, and I was reflecting while I was waiting with the song, is that a lot of new mums, they've got a sore perineum, they're sitting on their sore bottom, their breasts are full and hard, they're sleep deprived, and they're sitting there waiting for the baby to finish feeding or feed so they can lie down again. And the baby can feel the anxiety, can feel the tension in their body. The milk's not flowing because they're so tense. One of my favourite things is to lie mum down on her side and attach the baby while she's lying down. The baby will sense that the mother's gone, oh, thank God, I'm off my bottom. The milk starts flowing, the baby has a good feed, and within 5 minutes they're both asleep. I just love it. I do it in hospital, I do it at home. And I wish I'd done that more with my own children, fed in bed. But now it's a more accepted practice, and it's proven to be safe. Mothers can feed as long as they follow the guidelines for bed sharing. Babies are they feed beautiful. And even if you don't do it, even if you just feed in bed, then get up and settle your baby, it is a lovely way to help you breastfeed.
Yes, if you want to look up safe co-sleeping guidelines, you can look up the work of James McKenna in particular. Yes, lying on your side can also stem the flow of milk if you've got too much milk. What do you recommend for mothers who don't have enough milk?
Well, there's lots of lovely herbs now that you can go. I'd go to you can see a naturopath or get advice from a health food shop. There are the blessed thistles and a few other different mixtures. But my main recipe for lack of milk is rest. You're often not making milk because you're too stressed. You've got too much adrenaline, not enough downtime. And also the night feeding. When you feed your baby at night, a lot of people think, if I give my baby a bottle at night, it'll give me a break. The night feeding, you produce so much more prolactin, which produces more milk. And it's a better quality of milk. So keep your night feeding going and try and get a nap through the day so that you get a better milk supply. But rest. If you're not producing enough milk, you're stressed. You need more loving, you need a massage, you need some good food and lots of TLC. Some doctors prescribe medication, which that works too. Everything has its place. I'm not against it. So if you want to go for that way, that's fine too.
It's important also to, as you were saying, to just really stay attuned to that need for self-care.
Yeah, totally.
through this period, and that you don't need to be doing it all.
No.
Yesterday, Jayne, we talked a little bit about your career as a midwife and the need for self-care in that career. It would be interesting to just touch on that for birth workers as well and what you've learnt about self-care.
Yeah, self-care. I wasn't good at self-care, I admit that. I worked as a home birth midwife for 7 years, as I said, and I worked alone. There was no partnership for the midwives in Byron. We all did it alone, and I didn't self-care. I gave too much. I had too many long births and I didn't recover because you can't plan babies when they're going to come. You can have 3 babies in a weekend or in a few days. So self-care is one of the main things. Debrief with your colleagues and self-care. And do your best. That's all you can do. Because some people don't think it's the best. But as long as you know you've done the best, that's all you can ask. And everyone has their idea of what the best is. Yeah, which is sometimes hard. But look after yourself, girls. That's or boys, any home birth male midwives or midwives out there. It's just that self-nurture. It goes all through my practice. Start with yourself, and you can't give what you haven't got.
That's right. And which brings us back to the mothers again.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of time to just give to a new mother who's maybe listening and battling with lack of sleep and difficulty with getting through the feeding and the average day. Perhaps we could give a mother a bit of a picture about what she could reasonably aim for. So maybe for her to think about the help that she could be getting. And if she was getting help, her day could look something like...
Yes. She could have someone come in and put the washing on and hang out the washing and do the dishes, and maybe just keep someone to come and just hold the baby while she has a shower. Those little things. Until you're a mother, you don't know how hard it is to have a shower. You know, and most new mothers know how hard it is to have a shower. And to have a shower in peace. It's all right having a shower, but with a baby sitting in a seat outside the shower crying, that's not relaxing.
No. It's
so
terrible.
And most mothers, a friend of the baby, anyone would help. I mean, we're all so alike. We know what it's like. We've lived it. People are happy to help.
I noticed that when I did ask on the rare occasions, people were waiting for me to ask. They were not inclined to offer.
No.
Yeah.
We're scared of putting people out or being a burden. Hello, you're not a burden.
And so that person could be in home doing a few things around the house while you're sleeping in bed or adjusting to breastfeeding. And
so many people worry about how much milk they're getting when they're feeding. Will the baby be all right? just know that as long as this baby's got 5 to 6 wet nappies a day, the baby's getting enough. No need to measure, no need to write down how long they've fed. Every baby's different. And if you feed every hour, it's fine. If you feed every 4 hours, it's fine. You're doing a great job. Just remember that, and you're doing your best. This baby chose you for a reason, because he trusts you to look after him, and that's why you're his mother. Yeah.
If people want to connect with you, how could they find you online?
JayneAlder.com.
Jayne, thank you so much for coming in.
We hope you've enjoyed this week's Pregnancy, Birth and Beyond show. Tune in next week for more radical and soulful radio, bringing us full circle. Our radio show now has a Facebook page. Take a peek, say hello, become a fan and stay up to date with the show. Go to facebook.com/Pregnancy, Birth and Beyond Radio.
This episode of the Pregnancy, Birth and Beyond show was produced with the support of the Community Broadcasting Foundation.